Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on the Urban Wine Club webinar. You told me not to identify it, but I am. Urban Wine Club, Greek Wine Club. We're doing this with somebody who actually he should be on both, and that's why we have him here, our very good friend. But before I introduce our special guest, I want to say hello to Foti, the resident wine and cocktail expert. Foti, how are you?
Yeah, so Ari, I think I'll be doing better once we start sipping the cocktails. We're waiting for a storm up here. I'm sure you've got the storm already down there in DC. But once again, welcome to our cocktail webinar series. This has been exciting for us as adding another dimension and dynamic to what we do here. And as Ari has mentioned, we want to welcome back, not just once again, but many times with us. I want to say he's our resident cocktail specialist, mixologist, and good friend. Welcome to the program, Johnny Livanos, the creator and founder of Stray Dog Wild Gin. Welcome, Johnny.
Hi, guys. Thank you,
How are
Foti.
you?
Thank you. I'm good. Good, guys. Thank you, Foti. Thank you, Aris, for having me back again. It's so good to be here, even though I'm in my room. So it's nice. I'm in my bedroom. I created a bar in my bedroom. For those of you who can't see that this is actually a TV stand, but we're gonna pretend that this is actually a beautiful bar because they know when we're locked in our homes because of snowstorms, COVID, we get creative. This has been like a whole experience to find new ways to bring the bar experience home. So that's kind of what we're gonna do here today with you guys.
Excellent. Well, that's the beauty of what you just mentioned. The fact that now we can pretty much entertain at home and get the instructions and the expertise from individuals and professionals like yourself will make everyone's experience at home a lot better.
And
I think so.
you look the part, you dress the part, you have everything lined up. This is perfect. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, I tried every time I do a cocktail or a wine seminar, I always wear this hat to make me feel like I'm that much closer to Greece, even though we did get like a foot of snow this morning. So did Greece. So I guess we could still pretend like we're in Greece, right?
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
So Johnny, why don't we start off and kick off and tell us a little bit about Stray Dog Wild Gin and how it all started for you.
Yeah, sure. So for those of you who haven't had the privilege, no, I'm just kidding. For those of you who haven't tried Stray Dog yet, so here it is. If you can see, it's kind of glaring. So Stray Dog Wild Gin is a product that I created and launched last year in February of 2020. After many years of research and recipe testing and experimenting, basically Stray Dog was a way for me to put all I love about Greek flavor and Greek spirits culture together into a product that I could share with the world. So I grew up working in restaurants, Greek restaurants. My family is, like most Greek people, you at least have some relationship to the restaurant industry. So I grew up working in Greek restaurants my whole life. And the last restaurant my family opened up was called Ousia, which is the Greek word for essence and flavor. And it's on the west side of Manhattan. And I built the whole beverage program there. One of my major focuses was Greek wine and Greek spirits. I love to make cocktails with Greek flavor. And it was a fun way to just give someone a taste of what, for me, was a part of my childhood, a part of visiting Greece in summer vacations, and trying to find a way to like make it fun drinks with it. So I'll tell you the story, actually, how we came up with the idea. In 2017, I was hiking in Greece. I was actually on a wine trip, and we're in Crete, and we're drinking tsipuro. So for those of you who don't know, tsipuro, it's basically like a Greek pisco. They make it out of wine, Greek grapes. They distill it, and we're hiking while drinking tsipuro. It was a great hike because where else in the world are you drinking local spirits, like basically local moonshine, while hiking through the woods? And all around us were wild herbs like sage and rosemary. So and some wildflowers. So I picked the herbs and I put them in my glass of tsipuro, and then I forgot about it. An hour later, I go back and I sip it, and the infusion of all those local wild botanicals in the drink kind of made my head go like, whoa, light bulb moment. And I realized that there really isn't anybody making gin in Greece. And it's a country rich with so many beautiful botanicals, so many delicious ingredients So I decided to find a way to make a gin that could incorporate those delicious flavors of the motherland. And then we found a fantastic distillery in northern Greece that we work with, and they helped us produce this fantastic gin, Stray Dog Wild Gin. So we're using wild botanicals like sage, wildly grown sage from the mountains of Greece, rosemary, bay leaves, cardamom, fennel seed, mastica, and then we use fresh lemon and orange peels. So that's basically the majority of the botanicals used in the gin. And for those of you who haven't tried it, I'll try and describe it to you. You have this beautiful, almost savory, herbal, full-bodied gin. And craft gin is such a fantastic subcategory of gin. I love gin. I mean, gin is one of my favorite spirits. But the craft gin movement, you're having so many different gins out there that are representing maybe a country or a region where they're being produced. And I felt like Greece deserved a product that was going to be able to showcase those flavors. And that's our story. And basically, yeah, what else? Oh, and we name it Stray Dog. The Stray Dog represents the wild side of Greece and the wild botanicals we use. And then we also give a portion of our profits to help benefit a stray dog shelter in Greece as well.
Bravo.
So that's the Stray Dog story. Hopefully you all get to try it soon. Order it on Urban Wine Club or GreekWineClub.com. Hey.
Thanks for that plug. But honestly, I'm gonna say before we even talk taste, one of my favorite things ever with a spirit, one of my favorite experiences ever with a spirit was pulling out the cork of a Stray Dog gin bottle for the first time and taking a deep whiff of that aroma. It truly is like an amazing aroma. Like it stuck out to me. And
I appreciate it. Well, yeah, from Greeks to Greeks, it's like there's something you could recognize in here, right? Like, whether it's the tea my yaya used to make at night, or the rosemary smell when you're cooking, braised lamb. Like we're full of herbs, right? Like Greeks always cook with herbs. Like we have herbs in everything. So for Greeks, it has a familiar thing, and for non-Greeks, it has something that you want and crave. It's just like really enticing aroma. The botanical mixture is just I find it to be delicious. I love making drinks with it too, but I know I'm biased.
As you should be.
But sometimes, the bias, it comes from a true place. And, again, maybe I'm biased as well, but all the gins that I've had in my life, and I used to drink, I had a couple of years where my drink was gin and tonic, and like Stray Dog is absolutely one of the best gins I've ever had.
Thank you. Yeah, Stray Dog is fantastic with the gin and tonic. I love using it in simple cocktails because the gin is extremely complex. So when you're serving it with the gin and tonic, it really allows you to capture all those aromas, all those flavors. But actually today, we're not making gin and tonics, but we are making 3 very simple classics. And I think the classics are the best way to enjoy the flavors of Stray Dog, because you're not masking the flavors of the gin. You're you're enhancing them, or you're highlighting them with either some syrups or juices. So yeah.
Awesome.
So Johnny, I just so the audience knows, everything you see Johnny do, we're going to have these recipes on the video and podcast page. So if you miss something or you forget something, you could definitely find them on the links. Okay.
Cool. And just so everyone knows, for these 3 cocktails we're making, so today we're going to be making 3 drinks. We're going to be making a Greek mule, right? So basically, it's just called the donkey, right? It's basically like a Moscow mule variation using gin. We'll be making I like to call it the wild bee, basically a bee's knees with Stray Dog. And then we'll be finishing off with, I like to call it the mountain gimlet. Basically, again, a classic gimlet using Stray Dog. And we're going to be using, for all these drinks, we're using these fantastic bar mixers called Cheeky. There's a whole line of these Cheeky products. They're shelf-stable syrups and juices that you can also find on their store. And then there's also a cocktail kit available for purchase that has basically all the ingredients here you see, so you can make these drinks at home. Simple syrup, lemon juice, lime juice. We have a ginger syrup as well, and then a honey syrup. So all very simple staples to kind of making a great cocktail at home. And I love them that they're shelf stable because, you know, when you're making cocktails at home, you don't want to have to use everything all at once. It's nice to be able to kind of have that ease and simplicity of, you know, just going into your fridge, grabbing some juice, grabbing the syrup and making a drink without having to go grocery shopping. Because, you know, we were talking earlier, like when I'm at home making drinks, I'm a lazy bartender. Like, I like to go, when I'm going out, I want to like have someone make me the craziest cocktail. When I'm at home, I just want to be able to like shake something real quick and sit down on my couch and go back to doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
But should we get started?
Absolutely.
All right. All right. So the first drink we're going to make here today is basically a mule variation using gin. People call it the gin mule. All right. So we're going to have, to make this drink, we're going to need a cocktail shaker. We're going to be using Stray Dog gin, of course, and some lime juice and the ginger syrup. All right. So most mules at home will use ginger beer. Ginger beer is a great ingredient when you're making a mule. Ginger syrup is a very fun alternative. I find that if you love that ginger flavor, this is a great way to kind of, you could enhance it, use extra ginger, less ginger if you'd like. So a great ingredient to use. So we're going to start off with 3/4 of an ounce of ginger syrup. You could go ahead and pour that right into the cocktail shaker. If you are, since you're not using ginger beer, we're going to finish this drink with club soda or sparkling water. That's going to give it the bubbles. All right, now we're going to use 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. I'm going to give this a quick little shake to make sure I get all the sediment and pulp mixed in. So when we're making cocktails, it's all about balance, balancing sweetness, acidity, and the booze. Balance is key.
So,
all right, yeah.
Johnny, I'm noticing that you're adding the juices and the syrups first before the actual spirit. Is there a reason for that?
That's just a kind of like a bartender rule of thumb. It's like if you put the spirit first and then you mess up, you have to kind of start over and you waste the spirit. So this is more expensive, right? So by using the juices first, if I messed up, I could just start over and I'm not going to cry too much about it. You don't cry over spilt lemon juice, but if you could cry over spilt gin. I approve of. So we're now pour 2 ounces of gin into our shaker. Usually when I'm doing these cocktail classes, I'm at the restaurant bar using their space and using their ice machine. But today I have to be like a regular person and I have to use ice from the freezer. So let's see. I think this ice should be good. So we're gonna fill up our cocktail shaker all the way with ice. And we're gonna give it a shake. So shaking is a very important part of making a cocktail. Shaking helps cool the drink down, right? We're gonna make it nice and ice cold. And it also gives dilution to the drink because, you know, drinking hard spirits with lemon juice, it's gonna make it pretty tart and strong. By shaking with ice, you're adding some water, which dilutes the cocktail, but it makes it more palatable and it helps add to the enjoyment of the drink. And it also mixes everything together and aerates the drink. So it gives it texture as well. So make sure your shaker is nice and tight so it doesn't spill everywhere. And then we'll do a little shake.
This is going to be a new meme right here.
The boomerang of me just like doing that. All right, cool. So I shake for about like 10 seconds or until your hand starts to get cold. That's kind of when you know it's done. And now we're just going to go ahead and pour this right into our copper cup. I love to do this. This is a briki. So for all the Greeks out there, a briki is basically the thing you use to make Greek coffee, Turkish coffee, Armenian coffee, classic coffee with the sediment on the bottom. But this is such a fun drinking vessel to use this as a cup. Instead of using a Moscow Mule cup, grab the briki from your grandma's closet. And
Johnny, somebody just commented, nice shaking action. So I just want
perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've worked on my shake for a while. All right, so you're gonna fill up your cup with ice. Boom, boom, boom. Now you're gonna top it off with some sparkling water.
Oh.
So it's gonna give it the nice bubbliness to it. If you didn't have ginger syrup at home or don't want to make it, you can just use ginger beer. So you could use the same recipe. Basically, there's gin, simple syrup, and lime juice, and then top it off with ginger beer.
Mm.
All right. So now I'm gonna have a lime here. I'm gonna get some garnishes ready for us. I'm gonna cut a little wheel of lime, a little lime wheel. I'm gonna put that on the top, and then some fresh mint. Goes a long way to brighten up the drink, kind of enhances those herbal flavors of the gin, makes it nice and refreshing. Boom. So I like this. When you have fresh mint, you kind of want to slap it against your hand, and it brings out all those fantastic aromas. And basically, there you go.
That looks good. I love it inside the briki.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So no ginger beer, but the replacement of that ginger syrup really does justice.
I think so, because ginger syrup is basically freshly squeezed ginger juice and sugar and water. So 3 ingredients to make a ginger syrup. But it's the pure juice of the ginger. So while ginger beer also, well, if you're getting a good quality ginger beer, it's going to have some ginger juice in there, but it's mostly like the flavor of the ginger. Ginger juice itself is potent. It gives it texture, it gives it body. I mean, it feels like it's fresh ginger. Like I feel like I literally juiced a ginger or cut fresh ginger. That's what it smells like to me in my cup. It just tastes more. It tastes more real. It feels like I'm really like have ginger in my glass. Any questions about this cocktail before we jump into the next one? What do you think?
Johnny, do you want me to give you questions as they come, or do you want to save them for the end?
No, as they come is good. Maybe between each drink or as we go.
Well,
it gives me some time to drink a cocktail. I don't want to throw this away. Get the next one started.
Well, we had one that came in a little while ago. Can Stray Dog Wild Gin be considered organic?
It's not necessarily organic. I mean, we use some organic botanicals, but not every single one of them is. So because of that, we can't say. But
it does.
Good question.
Yeah, it has a lot of those herbs and spices that you could consider. But it's also didn't you guys? I think it was on a previous one where you said, a lot of times some of these producers, they do like organic things, but sometimes it's just not worth paying the
yeah. So we talked about it with wine. So basically, in Greece, for example, we're talking about Greek wine, and the same would apply to a lot of the small like foragers who are picking herbs. Like to be labeled organic, you have to like pay some tens of thousands of dollars to get like that certification. And if you're a small producer, it doesn't always make sense to do that because
absolutely,
you're not making that much to make up for that. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, another question just came in. Can you use just some grated ginger as opposed to ginger syrup?
So like I said earlier, you need balance in a cocktail. So you could take ginger and muddle it, but then you're gonna need sugar at some point. So if you did that, you would have to then use a simple syrup as well. So if you're gonna go through the trouble, you might as well make a simple syrup and like throw ginger into it, because
well, from my question on top of that one is I feel like it would just complicate things to use real ginger, even though that might be actually really good if you could do it very well, like appropriately.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of cocktails that have muddled ginger in them. Like the penicillin, for example, is a great whiskey cocktail with muddled ginger. But the trouble with ginger is like it is when you're shaking with it, like little pieces get in there and it gets in your teeth, and then it's not as pleasant as something like a ginger syrup, where it's like a pure, clean ginger flavor without the pieces of the ginger in there, a little more subtle.
Right.
Yeah, that's just my opinion. But you take a ginger syrup at home. You can literally take the grated ginger, take a cup of sugar, a cup of water, and boil it for a few minutes until the sugar dissolves, and then you get that ginger flavor in there. So you can make it at home just like that.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that was it for that question. So
All right.
take your sip.
All right, cool. Ready for drink number 2?
Absolutely.
All right, so the next drink we'll be making is basically a play on the bee's knees. So the bee's knees is one of my favorite classic cocktails that I find goes fantastic with Stray Dog gin. So the bee's knees is one of those Prohibition era drinks when people had to hide their booze, hide the scent of booze from the fuzz. So they would basically use. Before that, people weren't mixing too many drinks, right? It was kind of, you were just drinking straight spirits or martinis, stronger cocktails. Mixing with honey and lemon wasn't so common, but honey and lemon was a great way to kind of hide the aromas of the gin in case your speakeasy got busted. So that's kind of how the story goes, how the drink got started. But for me, it's one of those simple drinks that I find is so perfect because you're using honey. Honey is also a thing that's very common in Greek flavor, Greek gastronomy. So the honey with lemon juice and gin, just 3 simple ingredients, but it is so, I just love the way they work together. Greek herbs with the honey, it almost reminds me of drinking tea. So this is kind of one of those cocktails that you get these fantastic marriage of flavors. And it's, for me, is one of the best classic drinks for using Stray Dog. So for this cocktail, we're gonna shake this drink. We're gonna serve it in a let's use this. We're gonna use we'll use this glass. We'll use my martini glass. This is called a Nick and Nora glass. We're gonna use honey syrup. All right, so I have my cheeky honey syrup, and then we are going to use lemon juice. Where is my lemon juice? Oh, here, my cheeky lemon juice. Okay. And of course, you could use fresh lemon juice as well if you'd like. I'm just testing out these products, and they're fantastic. So I'm having fun using them. All right. So where do I start? We're gonna start with our honey syrup. Honey syrup is basically just honey with a little bit of water. It's something you could easily make at home. Basically, the reason why you're not just using pure honey is extremely thick. And it's really hard to make a cocktail with thick honey. It won't dissolve in your cocktail. It will just kind of get all over the place, make a mess, and then it won't really do anything in your drink. So honey syrup, to make it at home, you could take 2 parts Greek honey, preferably, to 1 part water. Just dissolve it so that it's a little bit looser, right?
Yeah.
Then we're going to take 1 ounce of lemon juice. I'll go ahead and pour that into our cocktail shaker.
Question, if you want to take one?
Yeah.
Why did you choose that particular glass for this cocktail? Does it play a role in the cocktail?
So the bee's knees is traditionally, it's classic to serve it in a martini or a coupe glass. I have just 2 martini glasses here to choose from, and I thought this would be better for the gimlet that we're making next. There's not a big reason why. I just love this glass. I think it's cute.
Yeah, it's
and I'm
really
gonna
cool.
garnish it. I'm gonna garnish it with a nice little lemon twist at the end. And I love the way it looks when you have it sticking out the edge of the glass. Plus, it allows you to really get your nose and smell all the beautiful flavors and aromas. So these are fun cocktail glasses. I love them. They're small and petite, but they're just like fun to sip on.
Awesome. Thank you.
Not every thing has like a technical reason. A lot of it's just because, hey, it's pretty.
That's why I
Right, so
hang
now-
out with Forti all the time.
Exactly. So we're gonna put 2 ounces of gin in here. And what I love about these drinks, it's a simple formula you can use to make a lot of different cocktails. An ounce of juice, an ounce of citrus, 2 ounces of booze, and then 3/4 of an ounce of like a sweetener is like a very classic ratio for like making daiquiris, Cosmos, margaritas. So something to keep in mind. It's a very fun, easy ratio to remember 2, 1, 3/4. You can make a lot of different types of drinks with that. All right, so we're gonna fill up our shaker with ice. We're gonna get ready to shake. I got a big ice cube. All right.
Oh,
So again, we're gonna shake. When I'm shaking, I want to like get my whole body into it. You know, you don't want to do this and look kind of like unenthusiastic. You want to shake it hard. The harder you shake it, the more like aeration you're gonna get. You're gonna have this beautiful foam on the top. It's gonna make your drink look prettier. And you know, if you have people at your bar or people at home watching you, it's like, this is how you do it. This is how you get everyone excited. Like, you know, you're gonna get everyone's gonna start watching. Like, ooh, he knows how to bartend. So
you know,
hold it tight.
I used to call you the Ryan Reynolds of the Greek world, but now I'm gonna call you the Tom Cruise and cocktail of the Greek world.
As long as I'm one of those handsome guys, I'm okay in your world. All right, and now I'm gonna shake.
There you go.
All right. So I shook this one a little bit longer than the last drink.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
previous...
I noticed a longer shake on this one.
So yeah, the previous cocktail, we topped it off with soda water, right? So any kind of drink that is being topped off with soda, tonic, anything like that, you don't need to shake it as long because you're gonna top it off with more water and you're gonna basically dilute it a little bit more. This drink is going right into a coupe glass. We're not gonna add anything else to it. So shake it. You can shake it a little bit longer to get that really nice texture and aeration. Oh, look at that.
That looks really good.
So I'm gonna I have a lemon here. I'm gonna just get a nice lemon twist on top of this drink. So when I'm twisting my lemons, it's my little trick at home. I always take a nice veggie peeler, make sure it's sharp, and I don't pull with the peeler, right? This is my most important tip. This is actually the most dangerous tool in a bar. I cut off my pinky finger with this thing once.
Oh, geez.
You want to move the lemon, not the peeler. So I'm going to basically lock it in place. I'm going to twist the lemon, pulling it back. Moving the lemon. I mean, yeah, see? Moving the lemon, not the peeler. Boom. Give it a little thing.
You had me worried there for a second.
Yeah, no, this was a I have to get this sharpened. Next, you're gonna take the twist, and this is another great tip for bartending at home. With the skin, the outside part of the skin facing the drink, give it a little squeeze, and all the essential oils that are in the peel are gonna pop right out and fall on top of the glass.
That was cool because we totally saw all of it like spray out into the.
Really?
Yeah. And, right into the glass.
And I'm gonna come up to the camera so you can see by shaking it that nice. You have this beautiful little glare here. You can see there's a nice little foam that kind of forms on the top.
Oh yeah.
So when you shake it nice and long, and if you're using like a syrup like we did, it creates this beautiful foam. I love that. I just love that texture.
That looks really, really good. Like seriously good.
That is really good.
Yeah.
I love the bee's knees. I mean, honey with the flavors of Stray Dog, it's such a great combination.
Somebody asked, can you just recap the ingredients one more time?
Yeah, so basically we're calling this the wild bee because we're using wild gin, but it's simply a riff on the bee's knees. It is the bee's knees cocktail. 2 ounces of gin, 1 ounce of lemon juice, 3/4 of an ounce of honey syrup. And then to make your honey syrup at home, well, first of all, just buy this stuff. It's easier. You can get the cheeky honey syrup, which is easier to use, or you could take a little bit of honey and just 2 parts honey to 1 part warm water and dissolve it so that it's a little bit looser and not super thick.
Okay, so you actually just answered another question, which I'm not sure where the question came up because you kind of addressed this, but they asked warm water or cold water to dissolve the honey.
Yeah, definitely warm water. If you use cold water, it's not going to work. Warm water, and then you want to cool it down for a few minutes before you make your drink or make the syrup ahead of time. And honey has natural preservative qualities to it, so a honey syrup, it could last a little while in the fridge, at least probably a week or two, I would say. Maybe not more than that, because But yeah, honey syrup, very simple to make. Yeah.
That drink just looks really good. I want one right now. Oti, get a express shipment to me, please.
I'm overnighting it right now.
Yeah, again, I love this drink. It's just so simple. It's so easy to make at home. And I'm gonna put this aside so I could give it to my family. They're all waiting for me to come down for dinner. I'm gonna be like, guys, I'm making cocktails for you all. Calm down.
That's awesome.
If I don't drink
Johnny,
it all first.
So do you get stuck being the bartender when you're having family gatherings?
Yeah, I do. But you know what I do now? I like, people always ask me to make drinks. I can't do it anymore. So I just I make batches of drinks. I make like a punch bowl, or I'll take like a pitcher or like a wine decanter, and I'll just throw everything in there, and I'll make like 7 or 8 drinks in one time and have everyone serve themselves. Like I said, I'm a lazy bartender. Over time, it's like, make your own goddamn drink.
Yeah, exactly. That excitement is not always going to be there when you're making drinks for everybody.
Well, the problem is I'm also like cooking half the time when everyone's getting together. It's like, I can only be in so many places at once, guys. Come on.
Johnny, you gotta come hang out with us, man. We need drinks and food.
I'm waiting for the summer. We're gonna have like a pool party at my house, I think. You guys come over. We'll do something. We'll have you over. We'll have a barbecue. We'll hang out outside.
Can we live stream this? Or is that
yeah, let's
not
do
cool?
It. We could have a camera in the background or something.
Right?
Greek Easter, that's what it's gonna be. We'll do it for Greek Easter if the weather's permitting. We have the lamb on the spit. I'll make bee's knees punch bowls for you. Just for you, Ari. You have your own bowl.
I think you're gonna regret those words, man. When you're like, "Are you still here?" 3 days later. So another comment, not a question, but they said they have honey syrup from Greece. Can't wait to use it to make this cocktail.
Oh, wow.
So that's cool. Yeah.
I mean, look, Greek honey is the best way to make this drink. I'm not gonna lie. You know, there's so many different types of honey that are made from bees with getting their pollen from wildflowers. And Greek honey is some of the best honey in the world. I mean, Greeks say everything that they do is the best in the world, but I really believe that Greek honey is something that is extremely special. They have so much like medicinal qualities to it. And the flavor of the Greek honey with just fresh citrus and stray dog gin. It's just such a beautiful medley. It's such a simple thing too. It's so simple. That's why I love you. We're making simple cocktails. Like Greek food is actually pretty simple. Like half of it's just lemon juice and garlic on top of whatever you're eating.
Right.
Why not put the same approach towards cocktails? If you're using good quality ingredients, you can keep it simple and it's going to be fantastic. And that's what we're using. We're using fresh juices, fresh syrups, and gin. It's like, can't go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. You guys want to move on to the third?
The final cocktail. It's the final cocktail. All right. So the last drink we're making is we're gonna make a gimlet. Gimlet is, again, another classic simple drink that everyone should learn how to make. So the story goes that this drink was basically popularized by the British sailors in the 19th century. They were getting the scurvy. They had vitamin C deficiencies, and once basically they got limes or citrus on board, they would all go crazy and drink it because it was like, to them, it was like the medicine they needed. Yeah. Vitamin C and lime juice helps prevent scurvy. So by drinking this cocktail, you are helping yourself not get scurvy. So good for you. Okay. And of course, British sailors, they love gin. That's what they do. They drink gin, then they have citrus, they put it together, boom. It's like,
and one little fun
British
fact,
sailor medicine.
One little fun fact, Johnny. Have you ever heard the term? Have you ever heard the term limey when they call old British sailors limeys?
No, I did not know that term.
So there's a term where they used to call them limeys, and the reason was they used to suck on limes to try to prevent scurvy. So I just want to throw that in there.
All right, so we don't have to suck on a lime today. We're gonna just suck on a cocktail. Way more enjoyable.
I think so.
All right, so again, really simple. We're gonna use 1 ounce of lime juice to start us off. Then we're going to use 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup. All right, so this is the third syrup of the day. 3 cocktails, 3 syrups. Simple syrup. It's so simple. They call it simple syrup. You're literally just taking a cup of water and a cup of sugar, equal parts sugar to water, hot water to dissolve the sugar. And you could use that for your coffee. If you drink iced coffee, it's preferred because sugar doesn't melt in cold coffee. For cocktails, it's one of the most important basic ingredients. When you're shaking a cold drink, sugar won't dissolve. So simple syrup is basically a way for you to add sweetness to the drink without adding too much flavor and with having it dissolve properly. So again, simple syrup, there's so many cocktail recipes that require simple syrup. So something you could make at home, pre-buy it. But it's one of those things that's so easy to make, you might as well just make it yourself. It's literally just sugar and water.
All right.
And now we're gonna put in 2 ounces of gin. What I love about this recipe, this is like also the recipe for a daiquiri. Basically, if you swap out gin for rum, keep everything else the same, it's a daiquiri.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And he doesn't mean that, he's not referring to the frozen daiquiri, Ari.
I'm referring to strawberry daiquiris on the beach. No, I'm just kidding. This is when you're making like a classic daiquiri, shaken just with good rum, lime juice, and simple syrup. That's it. It's just 2 ounces of spirit, 1 ounce of lime juice, 3/4 ounce of simple syrup. That's like my golden ratio. That's the best way to just make a good balanced drink. Let's go ahead and add our ice to our shaker. When I'm shaking a cocktail and filling it up with ice, I kind of want to fill it up to the top with ice. The reason I do that is to ensure you're getting a properly cooled and diluted and aerated drink. Also, if you're behind a bar, bartenders should always fill it up to the top. That way, it's like they know they're using the same amount of ice for every drink. It just helps keeping it consistent, so that one customer or another one doesn't get different drinks.
Yeah.
Or if you're coming back for a cocktail, you're gonna get the same flavor. So again, we're gonna do our shaky time.
Shaky time.
Make sure it's nice and tight, and shake away.
Oh, it is.
My favorite part.
Voila. When your hand starts to feel numb, that's when you know you're done. Cool. So I'm using this other martini glass I have in my house. These are like,
that one's really cool.
I asked my parents about this, and they got this at their wedding as a wedding present. They still have it, so it's like a vintage martini glass.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
I only drink out of vintage martini glasses. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and strain this out into our glass. The classic daiquiris are served up and not on the rocks or not frozen, but no shame if that's how you want to have it. I like it like this because it doesn't continue to get watered down. If you have ice in there, you're gonna have to drink it kind of fast. It's a little bit more enjoyable. You could sip it. And then I'm gonna top it off with a lime wheel. So take your lime and you can cut a little circle, little wheel of the lime. That's really just to make it look pretty. But also when you have like that fresh lime on the top of the drink, it brings this next dimension. Like there's something about fresh limes that has such a fun flavor. I love that way. It just makes the drink smell better, gives it a little more refreshing aspect to it. And there you go. See, I shook it hard. You have this nice, beautiful foam on top. Okay, I'm going to show the camera. I'm going to turn my light off to get that glare away. Beep. So you can see that nice little foam, the lime floating on there. I'm going to go ahead. Since I'm here, I might as well.
Good.
Oh, yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. Looks so good. Your family's lucky. I'm going to say that. They're getting some good drinks right now.
So what I love about this drink, the simple syrup has very little flavor. It's basically flavorless. It's just sweetness. It doesn't have a taste besides a taste of sugar, which tastes sugar. It doesn't really have a flavor. It just has sweetness, So this is such a simple drink. You really get to taste all the herbs that are in the gin. that lime juice just brightens it up. It wakes everything up. It wakes up your taste buds. It makes the drink refreshing. But then you have all those beautiful aromas really come alive and shine. So definitely a fun drink. Another easy to make cocktail. 3 ingredients that you could have lying around. Nothing too fancy here. And that was the goal of this class, to basically show you that cocktail making at home can be simple. It's easy. It's fun. I literally had no prep here at all besides setting up this bar and my TV stand. Sometimes if I'm making drinks, it takes a lot of prep. We have these awesome mixers that are ready to go. I just shook it and put ice in and done. We had a lot of fun today making them, but it's so simple. And I just think that is important message to get across, is that bartending at home should be fun and easy. So don't overthink it. Get out there, get some of these ingredients and try making them at home.
Well, the beauty
that's my service call of the day.
The beauty of what you did is 2 of like very, very of my favorite cocktails, the mule and the bees, is what you displayed here. I haven't had the gimlet. I really want to try it, but I'm familiar with the mule and the bees, and so simple, so nice.
Yeah,
perfect. And
I'm glad that you got the not to cut you off, Ari, but I'm glad that you brought into the scenario the gimlet, because the gimlet's been an all-time classic for years.
Oh yeah,
and it's starting to pop up again in lots of great cocktail bar menus. So that's pretty cool that you brought that.
I think a gimlet is a fun way to try gin. Gin. Everyone's drinking Negronis, gin and tonics, martinis. Those are such popular drinks that I feel like you hear all the time. But the gimlet's a classic. And it's one of the few classic gin drinks that are shaken with lime juice and citrus and simple syrup. It's like one of the few gin drinks that I feel like you could have, on a tropical beach. It's just so perfectly simple and delicious, but it allows you to really appreciate the flavors of the gin. That's something I think that's great about the gimlet. Definitely recommend ordering them when you're out to a bar or restaurant, trying it with whatever favorite gin you might have. And you can mix it up, try it with different types of gins. You'll see how every gin is unique and special in their own way.
Cool. I'm going straight dog the whole way, baby.
Yeah, you could do that too.
A comment. Love these recipes. Good, simple, natural ingredients. Very Greek. Thank you. So yeah, awesome. That's what it is. One more question just popped up. What is the proof of Stray Dog?
So it's 43.5% alcohol.
Wow.
So 87 proof.
87, okay.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, a lot easier than some of the other mainstream gins that are in the 90s out there, right? Like I think Tanqueray.
Yeah, like Beefeater and Tanqueray are about like 90 proof. Yeah. So it's a little bit less than that. We're still, above 40% alcohol, which is kind of like the standard. So it has some body to it. But it's such a smooth gin that even with that extra, few points of alcohol, it's still pretty soft and well-rounded.
Right. And if I can make a comment for our guests that are joining us, thank you so much for joining. For those of that did not get a chance to order the cocktail kit, we do have the Stray Dog cocktail kit on our platforms for order that includes all those wonderful syrups and juices that Johnny has from Cheeky. You get them bundled up in one package, and each bottle is 4 ounces, and they're good to make up to 5 cocktails, if I'm not mistaken, per.
Oh, yeah. Right? Yeah. I mean, I barely did a dent on these things, so
that's awesome.
I think they're 4 ounces of lemon juice. That's 4 cocktails. The syrups will probably get a little more life out of them. They're also 4 ounces, so you'll probably get about 5 or 6 cocktails. So with 1 bottle of gin, you could have a party.
Yeah, right. Man.
And you can also order additional bottles too, as well, of the Cheeky products on our platform. So yeah, we just wanted to point that out, that for those that didn't get the cocktail kit, we highly encourage that you do so that you can actually replicate this wonderful demonstration that Johnny provided us this evening.
Yes, and it's definitely worth it. Like I said, if nothing else, you do sniff this gin. It smells so good. I'm telling you right now.
It smells grease.
It's so refreshing. I love the smell. But yeah, I gotta try all these, because like I said, mule and the bees is I've always loved those. I'm I don't know. Like, I'm sure I've had a gimlet. I just don't know if I know the name of it. So
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you might not have had it though. It's something that like when I used to bartend, like I would sometimes get a Gibson, and in my head I'd be like, wait, is that a gimlet or a Gibson? I would forget which one I have to make. A Gibson is basically a martini with onions, and then the gimlet is the gin with lime and simple.
And
I
what
was always I was always confused as a bartender. Like, what are they? Wait, that's the
and
one
what
with the onions or the one with the lime?
and when Johnny says onions, for those of that are kind of thrown off, he's referring to the pearl onions
Yeah.
that are circular, that are in they go into cocktails.
Mhm.
Have you ever had one before, Ari?
no, I actually have not. To be honest, I love. I feel maybe I have. It was one
Yeah.
of
There's
those
this one
times.
bar I love in New York. If you order a martini, they give you everything. You get an onion, you get an olive, and you get the lemon twist. So
No
it's
way.
like you could have every sip, you could have a little bit of something
Oh,
different. So it's
That's
like
so cool.
the martini trio,
that's awesome. I
which
love
is
that.
fun. I don't always drink martinis. Like martinis is like you have to be in a mood for a martini. Like, those things are strong.
Oh yeah.
So I stick to the shake it and fun sweet and sour drinks. But every once in a while you need a good martini to kind of
Well, that's
knock
why
something out of you.
that's why I couldn't answer the question because I can't remember if I had one because I probably blacked out or something.
Yeah.
Which is often, right, Ari?
Used to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Why is there onions in my drink?
You wake up, there's a big red onion on there.
Now, Johnny, maybe we didn't mention this in the beginning, but we can discuss quickly to our guests and our audience that for every purchase of Stray Dog, you do something pretty, really admirable for the fact that Stray Dog is referring to.
Yeah, so we have stray dogs in Greece that are roaming the communities, roaming the towns, and we give back a portion of our proceeds to stray dog shelters in Greece. Our official partner is actually called Save a Greek Stray. You could go to saveagreekstray.gr and to learn a little bit more about them. They have an amazing facility where they help house stray dogs, and their whole mission is to focus on adoption and to find permanent homes for the dogs that kind of run the streets of Greece. So definitely a great charity we were happy to partner with. And hopefully, as we continue to grow, we'll continue to do more things to help, the stray animals in Greece and beyond.
And that's super, like, that's an amazing thing you guys are doing because honestly, like growing up, going to Greece all throughout my childhood, all I can remember is feeling so like horrible about seeing these like dogs like roaming around the streets and they look hungry and I always remember being like all sad and upset about it. And it's so cool that now I feel like there's kind of like a movement of like people trying to kind of change that. And
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of like nonprofits that are helping the stray dogs of Greece. If you have a chance, I believe it's go to Taki's shelter. Look it up. He's
yeah.
this guy from Crete, and he like took over. I watched this video. It's on YouTube. Someone did a documentary on him. It feels like he took over like a garbage dump, but basically converted it into this amazing place where he lives with like 300 dogs, and he himself takes care of them. That's like his whole life. And he basically just survives off of donations from volunteers. But that's another great person out there.
We'll tell you a funny story about what you just mentioned. We spoke to a representative of Taki, and then we actually spoke to Taki over social media.
Oh, wow.
And we wanted to have him on our podcast. And the reason we couldn't is because of the time difference, and anything that was within a reasonable time for us, he's like taking care of dogs. And he's like, I absolutely have to do this. Like, I can't not do this. So like, I can't make that time work. And I was like, you know what, for somebody who can't make a time work, I've never like respected somebody more. It's like, this guy's so serious about it. So it was really cool.
Well, the thing is, like, someone's got to do it, and for a lot of these animals, it's like no one has given any, a damn about them, and just letting them kind of do their thing. And it's we're just happy that there's people out there doing the work, and we're,
You're
feel
one of
fortunate,
them.
and
You're one of
we're
them.
proud, but we're proud that we could help them do their work and help them, live that mission, because that's our mission too. And it's something that we're proud of, and it's been something we started off since we had the idea for the brand, and something we're really proud of.
And it's very, very commendable. So we appreciate that of you.
And thank you.
Awesome.
All right.
Well-
Anything else, Foti? He got 3 drinks ready for his family.
Yes.
I think we'll see. We'll see about that. They're already almost done.
Maybe they won't make it downstairs.
Yeah.
We definitely want to, as always, thank Johnny for taking the time in his busy schedule, as always, to spend time with us, to enlighten us, to entertain us, to enrich the moment, and also to bring us great products to the market that we're very honored to have on all of our platforms. So thanks again, Johnny, for doing this.
And
My pleasure.
He's like a resident DJ at a hot club. He is the resident mixologist for this hot platform.
Excellent. And for our folks that are with us, remember this handsome face, because he will be joining us soon on some of our other upcoming webinars. So stay tuned for that as well.
And remember Johnny as well. Don't just talk about me.
Oh yeah, that's right. Right. And for those of you that don't know, we have our Greek Wine Club app to download on the Apple and Google Store, as well as our Greek is on app. We just launched that as well. We have Greek products, and which is food, wine, spirits, books, merchandise, you name it. So look out for that as well.
Yep. And again, we are going to feature these recipes on the podcast and video page. Stray Dog is available on our platforms, all of them. And Johnny, you're awesome, man. We appreciate everything you do. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thanks for having us. Everyone at home watching, thank you for watching. And hopefully I'll be seeing you all soon in like a real bar.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the next phase, man. We're going to start promoting these trips so we could do this live. It's going to be awesome.
Wow, that actually is fun. I can't wait to do this live. We can
Right?
have a whole, we'll sell tickets and get everyone to come into the.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. That's the goal. And we're going to do it.
Can we do like a world tour, like a bus and stuff, and do these things, and we'll stop in like city to city?
You know what? We very quick story. We spoke to somebody who has a production company that does like these travel documentaries. I'm pitching this right now.
Yeah, just do it.
We're doing this. All right. Thank you so much, Johnny. Again, awesome stuff. Thanks everybody out there for watching, for listening. This will be the video and the podcast. The recipes will be listed. Johnny's links will be listed. Thank you, Foti.
Thank you.
Thanks, me. And again, Johnny Livanos, you're awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye, everyone. Cheers.